before we start,
Okay.
Jason, just so you know, this is
Mhm.
Jessica. Jessica's who's the person who's done all the correspondence, brought you on for the interview.
She been on
Jessica.
Hi,
point, Jessica.
nice
Thank you.
to meet
We've been, we've been,
you.
we've been, we've been trying to figure this thing out for a while. We got it.
Yes, it's okay. Thank you so much for being so patient and working with us. It's a pleasure, and thank you for agreeing for the interview. I was so excited. Like you were one of my. It was so funny because I am a BMF buff, right? And I know
Ooh,
everyone didn't like you, but I really didn't see why. We only didn't like you because Meech and Terry didn't like you. You really wasn't doing nothing wrong. You know what I
that's
mean?
Right.
it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jessica.
I said they could have kept my boy on there. They ain't had to kill you like that. But yeah. So thank you.
I appreciate love that. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody would come up and be like, man, I hated your character. I'm like, but why though?
Yeah.
Why? And
Yeah.
they couldn't explain it.
But that
I
means you did
do.
a job though.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too. I think because Terry and Meech or Meech was so he had just this disdain for me
Right.
for Remy. Yes, and Remy was a very complicated, as we all are, a complicated,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, person.
Mm-hmm.
Because trying to take care of the hood, the children, the
Mm-hmm.
kids at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, still doing what he doing and kind of bringing
Mm-hmm.
the hood down. So it's kind of like it's a yeah, he had a
Right.
dilemma.
Right. Right. I liked you. They couldn't make me hate you, okay,
That's
Jason?
I appreciate that, Jessica. One for the team Remy, baby.
Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today our guest is an actor, writer, and producer, and has over 82 acting credits to his name. You've seen him in TV shows and movies such as Black Lightning, Wu Tang, The American Saga, BMF, Wicked City, They Clone Tyrone, and many more. We have with us none other than Jason Louder. Jason, thank you so much for joining.
Man, I appreciate. Thank y'all for having me. This is
Yes.
dope, Kevin and Jessica. I appreciate love y'all, man, for real.
Yes, thank you so much for joining the platform, man. Truly, truly humbled and appreciative of you joining and sharing your time with us, and also a little bit of your expertise and how you got into this business.
Ashe, Ashe. I love it.
So, I like to start every interview with a very simple question, but some might find it a little difficult to answer. Are you
Mhm.
ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That question is: Who is Jason Louder?
You know what? I love that question actually, because I'm traveling on this journey of self discovery, and
Mm,
I'm coming to the realization that we are all connected through God, Source. So
yeah.
I am you, and you are me. We are us. So when people say, who is Jason Louder? I said, I'm a human, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience.
Mm,
So in essence, that is how I show up. And so in essence, how I show up is in love, because I always want to make sure that I am the change that I want to see. And my dad, he taught me that like really early on. Be the change you want to see in the world. So if I
right.
want the world to be loving, I have to show up as love.
Mhm.
And so that's who I choose to show up as love.
I love that, man. I love that. And we should all do the same, you know. I appreciate that you said that, you know. I've been following a lot of people, and a lot of people are also mentioning, you know, we are humans, but we're living in an experience. We're experiencing each other, but you know, you are I, and I am you, kind of thing. And so,
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, man. Um, but again, I love that answer. But on top of that,
Yes.
you are an actor, a writer, and a producer. Let's start with acting first. How did you get
Yes.
into acting?
To make a short story long, um, so always just tell people acting kind of found me in 2009. So I was a part of a rap group called the Unknown Seeds. And it was myself, my cousin B Price. We all met. Well, we met the rest of the group at Georgia Southern University, where I attended college, and so we kind of merged and became this group where we were highly, just wanting to bring life and bring Uh, consciousness into the arena. So we would call ourselves, they called us the down south public enemy. So we were a little bit about before our time.
Right.
Nonetheless, of course, after we graduated, we were doing our thing. People
Hmm.
started having babies. People started getting married. It's kind of like, all right, we got to figure something else out. And so I started teaching. And then I would teach in the daytime, and then sometimes at night we would have shows. So essentially, once things kind of fizzled out, my homeboy called me. He was like, "Hey man, you should go to this audition at Georgia State University." And I'm like, "Audition for what?" He was like, "For a play." And I'm like, I don't. Okay. He was like, "Yeah, because you're the hype man of the group, so you always got all the energy. So you need to be like, that's what you do. You act." And I'm like, "Huh? Okay, I'm not doing nothing." So I went to the audition, man, and the the lady who was over the casting, the young lady, she was like, "Here's your sides," and I was like, "What am I? What you want me to do?" She was like, "Have you acted before?" I said, "No." She was like, "Oh, okay. So read over this. We'll call you in, and then the directors will see you." So it was for they were called vignettes. So each I guess graduate was working on their final product,
Right.
piece. And so the first piece I read for, and it was like, yo, me and the director started reading back and forth, and something happened. It was like, whoa, what did we just do? I was like,
Hmm.
yo, that was dope. She was like, thank you. And I was like, no, thank you. So the next director was like, hey, can you read mine? I was like, hell yeah. So we go back and forth. Same thing. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. What is happening right now? And so the other director said, can you read mine too? So I'm doing all these different pieces. And the director, the department chair, Dr. Charlene Holmes, she transitioned a couple of years ago. Rest in power. She said, "Yeah, man, yeah." She reached out and was like, "Hey, you got cast in all of those pieces, but I can't let you do that because you never acted before. So it would be a disservice to you and to the others if they split your time and split your energy. So you can choose two." And I chose the first. I chose the first two. The first one was called "Our Liberated Justice," and it was about these two Black Panthers who had gotten framed for robbing a Brinks truck. It was a true story. The director, it was about her parents. So I got to play her dad. And so that was my I'm asking him questions about what happened to him and just a bunch of just it was beautiful because that was my introduction into acting, right? And then
Yeah.
the second piece was called Salam, and it was about this Muslim terrorist who ran into the Twin Towers, and he had to atone for his sins, just him and God on. So it was me on stage by myself in a monologue talking to God.
In
Mm.
your very first time,
Very
man.
first. So I was like, more please. Can I have more of this? Can I have more of this? Because
Yeah.
it just happened, man. And I think it was a spiritual
Mhm.
awakening as well.
Mhm.
But I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And the pieces that you chose both are heavy, heavy pieces. You
Man,
know, heavy subject matter.
very, very heavy. So
Yeah.
I hadn't learned how to decompress yet. So that was a part of it.
Yes, and also to be able to carry on that weight, not in a negative way, but carry on that weight and that burden of feeling the emotion and the trauma and all of that that comes along with it for your very first time to be able to express that on stage and be able to deliver that, to the audience and
Yeah.
convey that to the audience. What was that? Do you recall what that experience was like? Do you remember what that your first night on stage was like?
It was only one night. And
Oh,
I remember it because I had two amazing directors. Both of them, they were very like they were well ensconced in the art, in the craft, and so they kind of taught me about the Meisner technique and Stella Adler and asking those 100 questions and doing the backstory and doing the, doing that work. So that was once again, that was my introduction to acting with these two amazing directors who had given me all the tools and the techniques that I would need to help me portray a truthful experience. And that's all
Right.
I wanted to do, was portray a truthful experience.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
And I
So
had
that's
my friends were in the audience, and they were like, yo, yo, you good? Because I remember afterwards, I was just kind of like, yo, wow, man, I gotta I gotta get away for a moment, y'all.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I do
Yeah.
remember that.
To be able to release those characters that you were portraying, but not only that, you were channeling,
That
in a
part.
sense.
That
Yeah,
part.
channeling.
Yeah, that part. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what did your friends think as far as like compared to your regular character, and then being able to see you on stage portraying somebody
Mm.
else? Uh, was that the exact opposite of who you are as a person?
I think so. I think some of them were laughing because I had to put on an afro over on top of my locks. So they were kind of like, "Man, you had an afro lock," and so they kind of found some of that funny. But
Yeah.
I think when my dad said, "Hey, that was powerful," like
Hmm.
I didn't see you anymore. For me, I was like, "Wow, okay." If my dad said he didn't see me,
Hmm.
I'm tapping into something that I can definitely continue to hone and to continue to nurture and to sharpen. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, okay, let's go. I want to
Yeah.
train now. Now it's time for me to train. So I said, who's teaching classes and how can I join? So I took everybody's acting class in Atlanta.
I'm glad you asked that, because that was going to be my next question is, were you ever, classically trained? Did you take any classes? Did you continue on in theater before getting behind or in front of the camera? Um,
Yeah, that's all I did. I did theater for the next 7 years. So that was 2009, and I did theater for the next 7 years. That's all I did was theater.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let that um, that prepared you and led you on the journey of landing roles in front of the camera,
Yeah.
and getting into television and film.
100%. 100%. And I think it's interesting because I wasn't like, I don't know if I was intentionally avoiding film and television. It was just it wasn't showing up for me, and I'm like, that's okay. And so when it did show up, I was like, oh, yeah, this it? Y'all just want me to learn these 5 pages? I learned 30 pages for that play. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like, yo, I was grateful for the work for the study that I had done in theater for those 7 years and taking those classes, man. Greg Allen Williams, Victor Love, um, oh man, I dropped in Dwayne's class, Dwayne Boyd. I dropped in his class one time. So I was, and the classes. That's where I began to like really find my tribe. And so I think that's what really, really made me say, oh, you know what? Okay, this thing is about, it's about us pushing each other now. And so when I got my agent, it was from from a play. My
Mhm.
agent was the director of the play that I did. She was like, "Hey, do you have an agent?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "I want to introduce you to my agent." And that's how I got my first agent, was after I did a play.
Okay. And then that once you got your agent is really when things started to take off for you in TV and film. Were you able to
Absolutely.
start to lock in auditions and things like that?
Yeah, that's when the auditions. But yes, and I was also, there was this page, there was this website called lovetoact.com, and everybody used it because we were finding that that's where you can find like short films, student films, independent films, and I started doing those independent films, the student films. I started doing those as well around the same time my agent kind of manifested. So once the agent manifested, then I started auditioning for network television because I wasn't auditioning for any network television until I got my agent. Shout out to Coastal Talent. That was my first agent.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice, man. So before we continue with acting,
Yeah.
you're also a writer and a producer. How did you transition into writing? When did writing come about?
So so this is what I told my publicist. I said, "Hey, can we take writer off of my website because you know
Yeah,
I don't want to say that I am something until I study it." So
got
I've been dabbling. I'm talking
That's
about
okay.
dabbling.
Yeah, that's okay though. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who don't really consider themselves writers, and they might have a ton of writing.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's just a matter of exposing it to the world and sharing it with the world. And some people might feel like they're not ready, so
Mhm.
they look at themselves as more so amateur writers. So they don't really want to have the title until they're ready. And it
Yeah.
sounds like you're kind of in the same boat. But there's a lot of people who you're never really ready in
Ready.
writing.
Yeah.
Writing. There's a even when you receive your sides,
Mm.
there's draft after draft after draft until you
Oh
get to the
yeah.
final draft.
Yeah.
Or the shooting draft. Um, and so you're never really finished done with your writing,
Mm.
and there's a lot that goes into the writing. So
Mm.
you may very well be a writer. You just aren't
Okay.
ready to claim it yet. Either that's it. But
That's
but you're
fair,
gonna
Kevin.
claim
I
it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, you're gonna claim it though. You're gonna claim it.
Okay.
Uh, but okay, so on top of the writing, you also have done some producing. To my knowledge, some of the producing that you've done are primarily like short film
Yes.
projects. Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about those projects real quick?
Yeah. So the first, I guess the first concept that really was dropped that I received the download from
Hmm.
when I started to doodle and write down some ideas was called it ended up being called Sour Milk, and it was an we called it a movie mixtape because it was almost like before Black Mirror. So these
Oh,
were um different uh what do you call them,
like stories almost.
different
Okay.
stories about post-traumatic slave syndrome, and
Ooh,
one was a drama, one was a comedy, one was um a thriller, and one was a horror. And so I just was blessed to be able to work with. I just reached out to all my community and was like, "Hey guys, God gave me this vision, and I need help." And they
right.
came, and we were blessed to come together and put something together, but we didn't complete it.
Mm.
So I would like to complete Sour Milk one day. Yes, and so that was my writing and producing, because I'll say this: I learned what a executive producer means, because when I ran out of money for Sour Milk, we had to stop. So I was like, oh,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
It takes a lot, even with a short film, you
yes,
still need a budget. You
yes,
still need the funding to move forward and to be able to complete all of the filming and everything else that goes into it. Having the cast,
mm,
having the crew,
yeah,
having all of the equipment.
yes.
There's a lot that goes into it. It
And
doesn't
that's what
matter.
I'm learning. And
Yeah.
I'm learning that. So the next piece I was kind of prepared for when I worked with Courtney Arlett on Pretty for a Big Girl. And so I was able to say, hey, you know what? I want to come in as a associate producer. So I was able to come in, bring in some actors who I had worked with before, who I'd taken classes with, who I trained, work on
Mm,
that end of it, and also bring in some people who I know who could help find us like locations. So I was kind of like I was dabbling my hands
right.
in a few different ways, and so that taught me another piece of of what there are different types of producers, and
Right.
that's where I learned that as well. So yeah,
You got associate producer, producer, executive producer.
yes, consulting producer.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, all of those roles are different, but as I've learned,
Mm.
depending on who what project you're working on and
Yes.
who you're working with,
Yes.
some of those tasks might there might be blurred lines as to what tasks you take on.
Yeah.
Um, I guess compared to your budget and who has the experience of doing what, you know.
100%.
Mhm.
100%. And now I'm blessed to be a producing partner with a company called Gold Strand Media. They brought me in because they said, "Hey, we want to pitch you for some projects. Would you be open to coming in as a producing partner with our studio? So now we can work together to not only pitch you, but also have you produce with us." And I was like, God, yes, what? So shout out to Jonathan J. Will and Lena Jenkins Smith and Jonathan Williams. So those are my producing partners now. And I just produced a film that got into the Cannes Film Festival with my brothers.
Wow.
My brothers. Yeah, 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 yeah. So our film just got selected to go to Cannes this year.
For next year.
No, I'm sorry. We're going in May.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that is exciting. Have you ever been to con before?
Never. Someone told me not to go until you have a project.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure. I've never been to con, but
Okay.
I would imagine because con is like the epitome of film festivals, and
Yeah.
if you make it into con, then I wouldn't say you're well on your way, but you're well on your way.
It's
You
a movement.
something like
The progression is pushed. It's a progression.
yes,
Yes, sir. Ashe.
yes.
Ashe.
Not everybody gets into con.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's amazing.
Yeah. Praise God.
Are you at liberty to speak on what this project is about?
Yes, it's called Enough. And what I tell people now, the way after we've kind of come down to the final draft, the final picture lock, it's it's a story about four black men who are dealing with imposter syndrome,
Mm,
self-esteem, and um, you know, more so not knowing, not believing in themselves. And
mm,
so it kind of takes us on a journey through their as they learn how to navigate this industry, and
mm.
then they collectively come together and see the power in what it means to be unified as a brotherhood. So it kind of that's pretty much the story and how the story kind of evolves.
Wow. So it involves or revolves around the entertainment business.
Yes, yes. These
Oh,
are four actors, and it's pretty much we're talking about an hour. We're kind of telling about ourselves. So in essence, it's kind of like a PSA. It's a
okay.
mini PSA because we're showing that we do have struggles and we do have like I said, imposter syndrome and self esteem issues. Yes, and when we came together, we were able to talk to each other about it, and figure out how to most effectively support and help one another. And that happened during the pandemic. I'll say
Right.
that we all came together during the pandemic and said, "Hey, man, every Monday, let's meet on Zoom and let's talk about what we're dealing with, what we're
Mhm,
going through. How can we
mhm.
support each other, and how can we hold each other accountable during this time?"
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's important. That's definitely impactful.
yeah,
You really don't get too many stories that are, circle around black men and black men issues,
yeah.
the issues that go on within our lives. And it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. We are all facing similar issues.
Mhm.
It might be one might be a little more extreme than the other,
Yeah,
but we're all going through the same thing. And a lot of times we're taught to suppress it, taught to suppress our emotions and our thoughts and feelings. And yeah, it's very important to get that information out. So
yes.
I can see just by the subject matter why this made it into con.
Oh, and that's a blessing.
Yeah,
And I think because
yeah,
it's the time, because of what we're doing, what we're going through as a
yeah,
as a as a as a people, as a world community, man. And I think that this can people can relate to this, just not just black men, black women, people in the industry, because we all kind of deal with some of the same issues, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Cal, I want to shout out my brothers, Kerwin Thompson, Enoch King, Dap Paxton, and Anthony Gooseby. That's all my brothers who we all co-produced it together.
That's dope, man. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
And now you guys are all going to con, and God willing, everything goes well,
Yes, sir.
and it gets all the rave it deserves, man.
Ashe.
For real.
Ashe. I receive it. I receive it, brother. I receive it.
Yeah. Okay, so you said 2009. To my knowledge, you had been in this business for roughly 11 to 12 years, but 2009, that's about 13, 14, maybe even more,
Maybe
15 years.
more. Like I'm hitting that 15, at 15. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you have over 82 credits to your name, 82 acting credits to your name, that I was able to find online. But in that span of time, that's incredible because we've talked to so many actors in the business,
Yes.
both in the business and also independently,
Mm.
and 82 credits to your name, and you're still just getting started, man. Like
Right, right.
there's something to be said with that type of work ethic for one.
Mm.
Um, what do you think you've done different to land so many of these roles that maybe other actors aren't doing or might be missing in order to be able to, land as many roles or, more roles than what they're getting?
Mm. Wow, Kevin, it's not me, it's God. You know what I'm saying? So, and I say that with the most sincere heart and the most sincere spirit, and because you know, you know, I think when I learned with Victor Love when we were studying the Ivana Chubbuck technique, one of the is 9 steps to it's called the power of the actor. Step
Mhm.
9 is to let go, but I kind of flipped it. I said let go and let God. So once I really said, oh wait, step 9 is let go and let God. It was more so me trusting,
Mhm.
because I was a teacher for 17 years, elementary
Wow.
school teacher.
I can see that. I can see
They used to call me the fun guy.
I can see that.
So yeah. So my babies, man, I taught kindergarten through 5th grade,
Wow.
and once acting found me, I incorporated them into my entire like space. They helped me with my auditions, and then that one year, the principal she pulled me to her office and she was like, "Hey, we can't renew your contract because you missed about 60 days this year." And I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
wow." I said, "Well, can I come like once a week or twice?" She said, "No.
Wow.
We want you to go fly because we believe in you. You just got to believe in yourself." And I was like, "Let go and let God." And it,
Mhm.
it, it just it's been a beautiful, amazing journey. Jessica, I saw Jessica. She was like, "Yeah." And I saw Jessica. And you feel? I'm like, "Yo,
Yes, yes, yes. I, I say that all the time that God will put you in rooms that on paper you may not be qualified for, or people would never think, the first time,
Mhm.
when you went, I don't know how many other people auditioned, but how many roles did you get? So he had already put it in you. You just, it
mm,
hadn't come out yet. So definitely.
I received that." And oddly enough, not even oddly enough, divinely enough,
Mhm.
my entire journey, like the agent, I didn't look for an agent. That was God showing up
Mhm.
something through that director and said, "Hey, I want you to talk to my agent." She hadn't seen
Right.
none of my work, and she said, "I want to sign you." After we had a conversation, she said, "We want to sign you." I'm like, "Y'all haven't seen me act?" She was like, "It doesn't matter. We feel your spirit is something about." I'm like,
Mhm.
"That's okay. That's God." And
Yeah.
with Black Lightning, I auditioned for another role on Black Lightning. My agent said, "Hey, you didn't get the role you auditioned for, but they want you to play another role." I'm
Mhm.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah, you booked the room.
yeah." so,
Yeah.
so same thing with Wu Tang, same thing with BMF. So it's
Wow.
just it's been a serendipitously divine journey, and that's kind
Mm.
of that's the only way I can explain it. And that beautiful thing, Kevin, is that everybody's journey is different.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Everybody.
journey is different.
Right. And
Yeah.
a lot of times we get hung up on wanting to compare ourselves
Yep.
to the next person,
Yeah.
or wonder like, why did I not get it and this person did, or why did I get it and this person didn't? Maybe this person
Mm.
might have acted strongly or stronger, maybe
Yeah.
done a better job, but maybe I had the look for it, or maybe I, had the character and the personality for it.
Yeah.
You really just don't know, the rhyme or reason,
You don't.
but at the end of the day, just know that God showed up and chose you for this particular role.
And that's a beautiful part. So yes, and to that, Kevin,
Yeah,
we've all my queen, she says this all the time as well. What's for you can never
it's
be
for
taken away. It's
right.
only for you and for you alone. So
Yes,
if we don't get caught up in the, hey, I really want to get this, I want, and sometimes we do as actors, you know what I'm saying? We I can't lie. I do something
right.
like, oh, this is a good one.
Yeah,
Oh, I want this. But then I have to remember what's for me is only for me.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the human side of us. We all
Yeah.
want we all want what we want and desire,
Yeah.
but sometimes things are no's for a reason. They're no's because maybe there's something bad on the other side of that door, and God is preventing you there. He's putting you on a path to keep you in a good space,
Your
or maybe
rejection can be your protection.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, whether it's a yes or no, you still got to thank God for the blessings that you receive, because it's a blessing on both ends.
Amen. Ashe, it is.
Yeah,
And I tell people every opportunity to play,
hmm
that's the win. You
yeah,
get you get chosen to play and to live truthfully. That's the win.
hmm
The rest of the stuff, the booking and the callback, that stuff is great. The opportunity is what it is what we have to remember and count, because we always have to count. People say the small wins. I say we count all wins. Count
right.
the opportunity, the getting you get to put on the war. You get to read like all of that. That's yes. Count that as a win, baby.
Yeah, man. I love your energy, man. Like that for real. I can see why, you're
The
often like yes.
Mm,
Because you're easy to love and easy to talk to, and you come off as pure and genuine. It's not
mm.
doesn't seem forced at all.
Oh man, Ashe, I
Yeah,
receive that, and we're reflections. So thank you for reflecting, my brother.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now you're known for having had roles on major TV shows and films such as Black Lightning, Wu Tang, The American Saga,
Mm.
Wicked City, BMF, They Clone Tyrone, NCIS, Los Angeles, Cinnamon, The Pass, and so many more. I could go. Like I said, there's 82. There's 82. Um,
Ashe, Ashe.
can you name or list a few of the things that you might have learned from being on some of these major sets?
Mm. I learned on Black Lightning that you have to know that you are supposed to be where you are.
Mm,
So if I, there was a moment where I was like, man, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here, because the director was giving me some directions and I wasn't. I don't know. I don't think we were talking the same language, and I was like, dang. So Cress Williams, he pulled me over. He was like, hey brother, you're supposed to be here. Don't forget
mm,
that. I
yeah,
said, man, thank you. I owe you. He said, no, 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 pay it forward.
right.
I said, that was it, man. So that, and just being on set with people who operated in that space. He wasn't the only one, Damon Gumpton, Salim and Mar Brock Akil, they were just so nurturing on set, man. It was like, wow, this is home right here. I love this. It felt like home. And so I learned truly what it means to work as a collective, as a team. Same thing, Kevin. Listen, y'all. I've had some amazing experiences on set. Like I can. Same thing with Wu Tang. They told me one day the RZA wanted to talk to me. I said, "Who? He want to talk to me?" I said, "Oh,
Wow.
what? Let's go!" So
Yeah, that's
just
dope.
yeah, man. So just knowing that once again, you are where you're supposed to be.
Mm,
So trust that. So know that you are enough. Do the work. Do the work. And I was able to watch like Shamik Moore, and able to watch, Ashton Sanders. I was just able to watch them work, and I was like, man, okay, there's it's there's an artistry, there's a craft to this, and just having fun, man, just totally having fun. So, and I, just meeting some amazing people, and that's been the beautiful thing. I've met some amazing people, and we've been able to stay in communication, stay in touch, and now we're starting to work together to develop our own content.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So is that the next phase? That's the next stage in your career and what you're looking to do?
Yes, yeah, because I think that it's important for us to be able to, like Tyler Perry, he's a perfect example. Like he's employing thousands and thousands of people, right? Through the gift, through the ministry of storytelling. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's about.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Got
And
to usher in the new generation, usher in
ushering in,
the
yes,
next wave, the next phase of talent. Um,
yes.
we have to be the people to open doors, not gatekeep, because the people before us, not no shade on anybody, but the
No
people
shade.
before us felt like they had, once they got to a certain level, they
Mm,
had to keep the door shut because they felt like they were going to lose their spot, because once upon a time there was only so many spots for us.
yep, yep.
Today you can actually open the door for everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the abundance.
Hmm.
It's an abundance, and that's what abundance means. It means enough for everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. um Now, as far as when you're getting into character
Mhm.
and or you're learning your character,
Yeah.
once you receive who you're going to play on
Yes, sir.
whichever set that you're going to be on,
Mhm.
um, do you have a routine or method that you practice in order to become that character?
I tell This is what I've learned. The reason why we're given different tools
Hmm.
and we learn different tools is so that each house, each character, each role, it warrants a different tool. So this role may say, okay, this Meisner technique is going to really help me with this particular character, the living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. For another role, the Chubbuck technique. Oh, so I got to pull for some stuff that really happened to me and my family because that's going to help me really bring this character to life because I can now use that as my motivating force, as my objective, right? So these different like once until we can come and discover our own technique. I think that's the reason why we're given all these different techniques and all these different. So eventually, you can come up with your own technique. So now I've been able to incorporate all of those things, all those techniques, and those different strategies fluidly to
Hmm.
where I'm just living truthfully. And that's all I want to do is live truthfully moment to moment. That's it. So I do the study. I use my voice recorder to record my lines, go back and forth with my lines. I go do my lines outside. I do my lines in the grocery store. I do my lines. So I'm doing that. I'm doing the backstory, creating the backstory, writing down the history. How do I feel about my mom? How do I feel about this other person? And so when it's time for them to say action, now I'm just living truthfully.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your arsenal already
Yeah.
set up. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why training is so important. That's
Yeah.
why training is so important because now you get to build that arsenal and you get to play. Victor Love said he said, fail forward. Fail forward in my class because you can fail forward in here. On set, you may not have the time and the space to fail forward. In
Hmm.
this class, this is where you learn to fail forward. So
Right.
try everything, do everything. And that's for me, that's the importance and the beauty of taking classes and training.
Absolutely. And you get it out,
Yep.
where you no longer feel ashamed or embarrassed if you mess up
Yes.
or you fail,
Yes. Yes.
um, you get it out and you start to feel more comfortable regardless of how you do. Or, in one take you can do it one way, and in another
Yes.
take you can be stronger in that take
Yeah.
and not feel bad about the first take because you've already gotten all of that out of your system.
Got it out. And
Yeah.
and and if you work with a director who only gives you one take, you better go all out in that one take.
Right. Yeah. That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Jessica, do you have any questions?
So, looking back at when you asked if you could, like, when they told you that they couldn't renew the contract, um, and they said no, I know you were probably like hurt and upset then. Now, do you feel like that was the push that you needed to get out there and full time hit the pavement and get these roles?
Jessica, golly, hindsight. They say hindsight is 2020, and and every time I see Miss Rosenberg, I say thank you. Every time I see her, like they still invite me to come to the students' performances, to the Black History Month, to the Kwanzaa celebrations, and I say thank you for letting me go, allowing me to fly, because that's what I needed. If not, I would have stayed out. I might still be teaching at that school right
Yeah.
now, like because it was comfortable. I was
Yeah.
comfortable. That
Hmm.
put me out of my comfort zone and said, okay, what are you going to do now? So let's figure this thing out. Okay, God, I want everything that I want. I want to find more opportunities to act and to play. Oh, somebody said, hey, Emory University, they need actors because they have a program called Standardized Patient, and you can act out different scenarios like you're sick to help the doctors learn how to be better doctors.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Uh, uh, oh, hey, there's a dinner theater. They're looking for actors to act in the dinner theater. Oh, okay.
Wow.
The libraries, they're looking for storytellers to come in and act out different story time for the kids. It just, it was back to back to back to back. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that actually leads me to another question, but I think you might have just answered it.
Mm.
Um, my next question was going to be, when you're in between gigs, what do you do to continue the work? And you just answered it.
And I'm still doing all three of those things to this day. Yes, and added on to that, I'm the teaching artist at a school called Champion Middle School, where I'm teaching drama at there for the middle school.
Mhm.
I've also worked with AGI. They're another amazing studio that works with young people. So I was a
Mhm.
teaching the coach, the acting coach there. And so all that, and then Jessica, I called my cousin that same day. I was like, "Hey, bro, my contract is over." He was like, "Yo, you want to do DoorDash?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You want to do Uber Eats?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You want to do Postmates?" I was like, "Yes." Okay, so that was a part of that too. That was a
Yeah,
part of the hustle. And I tell people, you have to continue to. We gotta live in that
right.
in between time. We have to live. So I don't. I tell people. I tell a lot of actors, don't quit your day job if you don't have to.
Mm.
No, you still have to live. Yes, and the art, the craft is going to be another part of that. So you have to figure out how to marry those worlds. And sometimes everybody doesn't is not able to do it, but if you can do it, man, man, oh man, keep those side hustles going.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, is there a role that you would love to take on, but you just haven't gotten the chance to do so yet?
Man, y'all, I wanted to play Bob Marley.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
Yeah. But I'm
Did you
not saying I can, I'm not saying
did
I
you
can't.
audition
I'm not.
did you audition for that, for One Love?
I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah, yeah. I told my agent, I was like, "Yo, it's a Bob Marley biopic coming out. Let's go." And so, Ben Kingsley there, he did an amazing job. So,
Yeah,
what's for you? That was for him and for
right.
him alone. Period.
But
Um,
there's other huge reggae stars, Buju Banton.
yo, somebody was like, "Yo, you should do a Buju biopic."
Yes, yeah, you could, man, for real.
Yeah,
For
yeah. But to answer the question specifically,
uh,
when I saw Andy Serkis when he did Planet of the Apes, and
yeah,
I was like, wait, he was an ape, like
yeah,
he got into he had. When I saw that, I was like, that's the work I want to do. Avatar, I was like, yo, they are wearing these things, but they're still, their bodies are
mhm,
those types of roles. And the brother that played the guy that played in Lord of the Rings, he played that
oh,
dragon, and
right,
I'm like,
yeah,
yo,
Yeah.
That's the work that I want to do right there.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be in front of the camera. It could be behind the camera, CGI.
Yes.
Um, got it.
Yes.
Have you dabbled in any voiceover acting, animation, any of that?
So I forgot to say, I'm actually one of the producers for a new series called Uptown Chronicles. It's an animated series by my brother Stephen Gord. And we went to Georgia Southern together. He called me one day. He was like, "Hey, bro, I'm doing an animated series. I need some voice actors." And I was like, "You got me. You got
Yeah.
me." So
Yeah.
that's a beautiful story about a black family. It's like um, Wakanda meets the Cosby Show all in
Oh
one.
wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's a beautiful story, man. It's a beautiful story. I can't wait for the world to see that one. I'm like, oh. So yes, yes, I'm doing some
Are some of
animation.
these? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Are
No.
some of these projects? Are they for like major networks? Are they independent? How are they being released?
So Steven, he wants to pitch this. We're working on the pitch deck, if you will, right now.
Mhm.
He wants to pitch it to Netflix and Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's it's being developed. We got a team, a whole team. The marketing team, because that's a whole nother piece that people forget. Like after you complete the film, you have to market it so people can see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of moving parts in getting a production out there,
yeah,
letting the world know that it's coming, letting the world know that it's out,
yes.
um, and getting people in seats or getting the eyes on screens
Mhm.
to be able to watch it and begin to generate the money. Bring that money back, get the
Bring it
return
back.
on investment. Yeah. Um, well, the reason why I ask is, a part of what we're looking to do with the Black Script is
Yes.
we are actually looking to so we partner with a streamer. It's called the
Mhm.
Brick TV.
Oh, I've heard
They're
of
they're
this.
yeah, they're based on the West Coast, but they're originally from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So hence the name the Brick TV, but it's also building something brick by brick. Uh,
Yes. I love that.
and but not only that, we're also looking to partner with studios and major networks. So when you guys are actively looking for new projects to film, produce, so on and so forth, we have the writers that would submit the whatever the stories are, whether they're horror, action,
Yes.
rom-com, comedy,
Yes.
doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Uh, we can build a campaign around it, get people to submit their content, and you guys can pick, have a pick of the litter, choose one, and actually produce it, and then put it onto a streamer. But even if it's on the outside,
Yes.
and you guys are working it, and you're actively looking for a home for it, uh,
Mm.
the Brick TV can definitely be one of those places. Uh,
Wow.
and it doesn't have to be exclusive. We would love for it to be exclusive, but it doesn't
Copy.
have to be exclusive.
Yes, sir.
You can also have it on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Peacock and all of the other streamers. But um, some the black owned streamers have to get in the race too,
That
and
part.
a lot of people are afraid to go through black streamers and
Yeah.
get their content off the ground there. But
Yeah.
as I said, more streamers and more locations that people can watch it, the better.
That's it.
Would you rather tell somebody it's on one streamer, or can you say you can watch it anywhere? You know, yeah,
Man, and congratulations on that, because that's empowerment and that's taking agency. So man, kudos to y'all. I love that. So please, I would love to share this with some other filmmakers that I work with
yeah,
directly.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Filmmakers, actors, writers,
Yeah.
directors, producers,
Yes.
uh, casting agents. We also have,
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware, but we also have a network as a part of our platform where you can actually sign up, create a profile.
Oh,
There's people from all across the country on there. We're roughly at about 400 people, but we launched it. We did a soft launch maybe like 2 months ago,
okay.
and yeah, we're trying to get people actively on there so that way we have a full community of actors, writers,
Yes.
filmmakers, crew, set designers, line
Yeah.
producers, all types of people are on there, and people are actively looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you wanted to become a part of that community, you could. But then not only that, it's also a source or a pool of talent that you could actually pull from if you find some people in there that you know might fit your needs. You get what I'm saying? What's next for you?
Right now, man, Kevin, honestly, man, I'm trusting God to continue to guide and order my steps. I want to continue to open up doors and offer opportunities and connect and build. So I'm definitely gonna. I promise you, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna be communicating with you guys about your platform and about just building community,
Thank
because
you.
that's what I think that's what's most important for me. Building community. That's what's next. Building community.
I love that, man. And uh,
Yes.
one other thing, if just to give you a platform, if you would
Yes.
ever love to speak to the upcoming generation of actors, writers, whoever,
Yes.
we are looking to have people come on and offer webinars and seminar. You can give whatever information that you want to give, and
Yes.
share the knowledge that you want to share. It's like you said, it's all about building community. It's also about
Yes.
sharing the information and not gatekeeping, and allowing for the next generation to learn from people who have come before them.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's also to give you spotlight too, because not everybody knows who you are, what you do, what you've been in.
Mm.
So it's a teachable moment all around.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. Sign me up.
Basically like me now. So when you do have projects and when they're done filming, we
Yes.
do roundtables. So you and other actors on in that film or show, whatever it is, we'd love to have you back and then promote that. So we're family now.
Right, right.
I'm talking about officially.
With us. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope.
I
It
love
was
it.
amazing, Jason. You're so awesome. Like I
Yes,
feel like every person that we have um come on and do an interview, everyone's special in their own way, but
Yes.
sometimes some lights are just a lot brighter than others, you know?
Listen, praise God. I love it. Asheo, Asheo. And I'm grateful, once again, truly grateful for you all, the platform, what you all are doing, and how you guys are using your platform. Because this is where we are now, and this is what we have to do to continue to build one another and lift each other up. Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So with that being said, I like to give our guests the final word, whether that be a quote, a piece of advice that you were given, or words to live by. You could say one of the three, or you could say all three. It's up to you.
um, man, I always this always sticks with me.
Mhm.
Trust the journey and fall in love with it. Trust the process and fall in love with the journey. If you just
Yes,
trust the process and fall in love with the journey, everything else will take care of itself.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I follow that 100%, especially with doing this with the Black script, and it has worked wonders.
Oh
So
man, I love that.
um, yeah, I love to see other people, following in the same footsteps,
Yes.
um, you know, taking those ordained steps, and trusting in God,
Mm.
and allowing God to lead you, uh,
Yes.
you know, regardless of how afraid you might be of doing so.
Because you're gonna be scared a little bit. It's gonna be some things, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it works. Honestly, it really works.
Yeah.
If you let go and let God, like you said,
Mm.
then everything else will fall into place. And
Amen.
it's it, there's nothing like it.
Yeah. Amen.
And Jason, I want you to reconsider having your publicist take down writer because just because, you feel like you haven't studied as much, I think that you should speak it until you actually are what you want to be.
Yep,
Think
absolutely.
about it before you have her take it down.
Thank you, Jessica. Heard.
You're
Yes, ma'am.
Yep,
Yes, ma'am.
yep. All right, guys. Jason Louder, everybody.
Thank y'all.
Hey, Jason, this was amazing, man. This
Amen.
was
welcome.
amazing.